Violence by the Sword, or John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry. Welcome. We've talked about a lot of stuff, but we haven't talked about our old friend John Brown. You may remember John Brown from Bleeding, Kansas, where him and his sons go into Potawatomi Creek in Kansas and attack a bunch of people and murder a few people. But we're here for Harper's Ferry. And Harper's Ferry is, for a lot of people, that triggering event for the Civil War. Um, Everything has a triggering event, and for a lot of historians, Harper's Ferry is it, because John Brown, along with 18 armed men, both white and black, attacked the federal arsenal in Harper's Ferry. Their goal is to capture the weapons, distribute them among the enslaved people, and begin a massive insurrection that's going to end slavery. Now, John Brown is very important because he believes that slavery is completely unacceptable. It is an evil. It is morally wrong. He believes he's been put on this earth to get rid of enslavement forever. Okay, that is his one job on earth. And he believes that it must be purged from the world, and that the only way to do this is by the sword, right? Violence. So, if we remember back from Bleeding, Kansas, some abolitionists do support Brown. Others, like Frederick Douglass and, some other popular abolitionists, do not support violence because they don't think it will succeed. Nat Turner didn't succeed. Denmark Vesey didn't succeed. I mean, did they? To an extent, but in the end, enslavement still happened and they were dead. So it's not really success, right? I mean, it depends on your definition of success, but to a lot of abolitionists, John Brown's raid seems like a suicide mission, and they refuse to join. But he does get people. And on October 6th, 1859, John Brown and his men go into Harper's Ferry and they easily take over the arsenal because it's unguarded. However, as the abolitionists tended to be correct in this regard, the plan for the uprising does fail. There just isn't a large enough enslaved population in the area, and the group that takes over the arsenal ends up stuck in the arsenal because the townspeople start to fire on them. And if you've ever been to Harper's Ferry, it is such a cute little town, but it's also, the arsenal is kind of down at the bottom there. So you're going to have to fight your way out, and you're surrounded by the Appalachian Mountains and the Potomac and the Shenandoah River. So you really better have an exit plan. And it doesn't really seem like they did. And somebody who will be very important to us later on, Colonel Robert E. Lee, comes in with the federal troops. Now, again, this is pre-secession, so the federal troops are still part of the U.S. government, and Robert E. Lee is still an American. And he leads the federal troops in this attack against Brown and his raiders, and they capture them and capture all of them, really. And John Brown is put on trial for treason, and he is found guilty of treason and is hanged on December 2nd, 1859 in Virginia. But the raid causes more tension on both sides. Southerners are fearful of other violent plots, and more laws are passed to prevent rebellions and encourage secession. A lot of Northerners celebrate Brown as a hero, a martyr to the abolitionist cause. He's a Christian. He is very well known for using the Bible to support his cause. And that's not crazy. I mean, a lot of the enslavers are using the Bible to support enslavement. John Brown is using the Bible to encourage people to end it. It's morally wrong, right? So John Brown, through a lot of history, is considered this madman. And he was unhinged. He didn't have a plan, but he did. He did have a plan. And could it have worked out? I mean, I can't say that. That's not what we're here for, right? But you have to consider not just John Brown and Harper's Ferry as an independent event, but for over, 400 years of bondage, is it really at that point unnecessary to go by the sword when you've already tried everything else? Or did John Brown have the right idea? What is the difference between John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry and the Confederate raid throughout the Civil War? It's still violence by the sword. You're still fighting for something. The only difference is John Brown was fighting to free the enslaved people, and these southern states are fighting to maintain this concept that they can keep people enslaved. So, John Brown, madman, in my opinion, no, but this is APUSH in 10. You're not here for my opinion, you are here for the facts. And the facts are he was caught, hanged for treason, and if you ever get the chance, go to Harper's Ferry. It's a cute little town. You'll love it.